What in the world happened to the CrossFit Open? We don't have much going on in the CrossFit space right now, and I had a few things written down that I want to talk about. The CrossFit Open is one of them. There's been a debate raging for a long time about the Inclusive Open versus the CrossFit Open that had 5 workouts and heavy lifts and high skill movements. And I want to talk about it again. And what I want to hear from you guys is your perfect CrossFit Open. I kind of want to hear it before I say it, because I do have the perfect CrossFit Open, but there are parameters. How do we make the perfect CrossFit Open in which it is both accessible and challenging to where it separates your average CrossFitter from your 75th to 90th percenter to your 99th percenter? Is it even possible with 3 workouts? Apparently something shifted in the water when I started at the very beginning of 2021, and I was completely unaware of it because at the time I didn't even know who Dave Castro was. I didn't know anything about anything. The only thing I knew about CrossFit was going to CrossFit, and I happened to watch some guy on YouTube who would make videos in his garage. And that didn't happen until 2022.
I wonder if I can clip it in here or something. I don't know.
When I was watching this guy in his garage, I was like, he's kind of mean. I don't really like him. Shh. I always liked him. I was just the you that was buried deep inside while you were too busy being fat and running 11-minute miles. 'Cause I'm fat. Really fat. I honestly thought at one point that you might transition. Whatever, dude. Where were we? Okay, look. Something had shifted. 2021, what happened? This is when it happened, apparently. I never knew a CrossFit Open like the one that we saw in 2020 and all the ones before it. So in 2025, we had a workout with 40 ring muscle ups in a 20-minute time domain. I actually love that workout. I've done it a few times, partition as you choose with the rowing and the muscle ups and the wall balls. In 20.4, we had single leg squats, AKA pistols. We had clean and jerks all the way up to 315 pounds. I would have got stuck at 225 if I was lucky, and I would have got it once.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Well, looks like you just got shamed into working into Olympic for the next year, Grant. But that doesn't happen anymore, does it? No, I usually just get to do easy 50-pound dumbbell movements and do burpees over them. Maybe a few muscle ups, couple double unders. I can just hide in the shadows.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally?
Probably the exact thing that it wasn't supposed to do. From everything I can hear, it was supposed to show you your weaknesses. Wasn't there one CrossFit Open where there was 165-pound squat snatches? That was the workout. I wouldn't get one. I can't even squat snatch. I would have been shamed into working on mobility for the next year, and it probably would have been a good thing. And it actually would have worked. All of my peers see my CrossFit Open scores. I don't want to suck. 20.3 had a bunch of deadlifts, and it's got handstand walking. After you do the handstand push-ups with 315-pound deadlifts is great. I love that. 50-foot handstand walk. Guess who's working on handstand walking for the next year? I don't even know what this video is going to be about now. It was supposed to be about the new CrossFit Open, and as I go through these workouts, I'm convincing myself that the Open needs to be the old Open. Maybe this is part of the whole thing in general of the inclusive culture. I thought they just wanted an inclusive Open for signups, but ever since we got all sort of DEI, we don't shame anybody anymore. I went to the CrossFit gym that I went to because I walked in there and I met the coach. We were squatting that day and he said maybe put 225 in the bar and just see what you can do. And I was like, dude, I can squat 415. He looked right at me, fat 255-pound Grant. Dude, you can't even do a pull-up. That's why I chose that gym. That's why I chose that class. And that's kind of what these Opens do. They're just a slap in the face. I don't care about your feelings. You can't handstand walk, learn how to handstand walk. You can't clean and jerk. Mobility's not good. I guess you better fix it. 20.2 was a pretty standard workout, but even, it's 20-minute time domain. The first 2 are 20-minute time domains. Take an average CrossFitter like me, and I'm going to fall off a cliff at 12 to 15 minutes. And 20.1 is a great first workout. We don't see this anymore. This is completely foreign to me because in 2021, that's when we started the new rules. What are the new rules? Well, Dave's basically talked about what they are. The last time that we did a heavy lift was in 2021, then that went away for Castro because in 23.2 was it? There was the heavy thruster, but that was programmed by Bosman, I believe. So he said he doesn't like heavy lifts anymore because they skew the Open, particularly when you have 3 workouts or if you add it as a part B and you only have 3 workouts. First workout we can clearly see has to be inclusive. Like I said, it's basically a 50-pound dumbbell and some burpees, at least the last 2 years. 23.1 was a little bit different. We'll get to that, but that was Bosman. So you've got the no heavy lift, you've got the inclusive workout 1, which I get. You've got to drop people in and get people signed up. I actually, at a time like this, I totally agree with it. And then the last rule is 3 workouts, apparently. Sorry. I must have used Third C. Code KIR for 20% off. It just gets me all relaxed and feeling recovered. I actually really enjoy talking about Third Z now that I've had some people report back to me, not just that they have slept better and felt better recovery, but people doing their Whoop scores and things like that. It's all I use for sleep. Highly encourage you to check it out. ThirdZ.com, code KIR for 20%. Let me know. Shoot me an Instagram message if you end up trying it. I want to know how you like it. Also have a box of free samples. Send me a message. Now, how do we take those rules and create the perfect open? Maybe not the perfect open, but the perfect open when you have to work within those limited parameters would be the open in which both sides are like, okay, I can deal with this. What I want is workouts in which you fall into your proper tiers. How do we do that? In which the movements get more difficult as you go along. And there are several workouts that do just that. And this is my perfect open. I want to hear yours. And you know what? Feel free to use any 3 workouts under those parameters ever done in the CrossFit Open. But we have to get the best possible CrossFit Open with 3 workouts, no max lift, and the first one has to be inclusive. Now, I am using 2021 and forward because I think that's when the rules started. The first workout that I'm going to pick is 25.1, and I didn't even really like it. It's like the same thing as 24.1.
Same.
The reason why I'm not picking that, even though I actually like that workout better, is because I was only working for 9 minutes and something on that. So it's going to be 6 minutes less of working time, which affected my percentage significantly. And to this day, I regret that workout more than any workout. The reason you regret it is because you know you broke mentally. I literally broke on the last 9 snatches because if you go ahead and you take a look downstairs, you actually have a dude, chill out. After 5 snatches, I go and suck wind. I think I could have broke 9 minutes.
Coach would have put me in 4th quarter. We'd have been state champions, no doubt.
So I'm going for 5+ minutes longer on workout 25.1. And it's not just about me. Here's the thing. You look at the elite level, Colton Mertens did 24.1 in like 5.5 minutes, 5 flat, I don't know. And all the elite people were doing it in 6 minutes or less, 6:30. Now they are forced to do this for 15 minutes, basically the same movements, but they have to sustain it. I would imagine that would actually affect some people at the elite level. It would catch some people. Maybe Guillermo Harros. In fact, let's check that out. See here, what do we got? And there it is. Guillermo Harros on 24.1. He was top 200 in the world. On 25.1, he was barely top 2,000.
But we talking about practice, man.
Maybe this is a one-off, but the point is that the engine can be a separator. There are people who can go really fast for 5 to 10 minutes, and as soon as you hit 15, they start to fall off a cliff. All right, the second workout that I'm going to select is a favorite of mine and also sort of my absolute nightmare nemesis scenario. It is 23.1. And this was programmed by Boz, and it's not a typical first open workout. 23.1 is a chipper that feels sort of like 25.3. With the rower and the wall balls and the barbell movements. The main thing that I remember about 23.1, besides the fact that I did it 27 times, I've done 23.1 about 27 times.
27 times.
I could do 10 ring muscle ups fresh, and I could not get a ring muscle up at the end. And as soon as I got to the point where I think I could have, slap tear out for 18 months. Main thing that I remember is how hard the freaking cleans were at 135. Now, those cleans are brutal after you've gone through a 60 cal row, 50 toes to bars, 40 wall ball shots. There's a lot of grip and a lot of pulling other than the wall ball shots. And the reason that this is a great workout is because anybody can do it. even if you can't hit a ring muscle up, I don't remember the exact numbers, but you can get something like 58th percentile or something, which isn't going to kill your open. It's not like you were going to get 90th percentile anyway if you can't do one ring muscle up. On the men's side, at least. The women's side is a little bit more forgiving on the ring muscle ups. But there's like a 15 to 20% gridlock of people who don't get one ring muscle up. So for those people, the workout is how fast can you do these other movements? And then when you get to the higher levels, the question is, can you do 20 ring muscle ups while under fatigue with like 3 to 5 minutes left? A lot of the really, really good people are getting back on the rower. 14 minutes of work with a really good high-level gymnastics portion. The last workout number 3, is another one that on paper, like 25.1, I never really loved, but it makes sense. Another gated workout, and I really think that we have to have these type of workouts, particularly if we're only going to have 2 challenging workouts in addition to the first inclusive workout at the Open. We need to find a way to be as challenging as possible on workouts that everybody can do and somehow get some heavy lifting in there if we're not going to have a max lift, which is exactly what we do in 23.3. And this workout just escalates as it goes along. The more we can do workouts like this, the better, because it is another one where you don't even have to get to the second level to get a decent score. And if you don't get past that first level, you're only working for 6 minutes. Open always has double unders. This has double unders. Wall walks have been in a lot of opens. You've got that. You've got 15 snatches at 95 pounds after you do 50 double unders, 5 wall walks. After that, you move on 50 double unders, 5 wall walks. Reverse the order though, 5 wall walks, 50 double unders. And then you do 12 snatches at 135. You have 6 minutes to do that. Your time extends by 3 minutes after that. If you're someone like me, your shoulders are wrecked at this point. And then you have to do 20 strict handstand push-ups. And I probably finished at the end of the 5-minute period. So I have 3 minutes to do that. And I have to get 50 double unders and 9 snatches at 185, which of course, not happening. Huge separator. There are a ton of people in the 80th and 90th percentile whose max snatch is like 185 pounds. So many people are stuck in that 180 to 200 range. One snatch is going to be a pretty big differentiator. I like that there's these separators through the workout. You hit all that, you get another 3 minutes. In that final round, again, you'll do 20 strict handstand push-ups, 50 double unders, and then 6 snatches at 225, which of course is a huge separator. And that's it. 25.1, 23.1, and 23.3. The perfect open. Only in the sense that under the parameters that we have that Dave wants to do for the CrossFit Open, that is the best opportunity that we have with previous open workouts starting when the parameters started. The only thing that's really missing when I look at it, as far as all the main movements, is thrusters in a true squat, which is important. I'm not sure how important it is at this level. You get a walking lunge, which isn't a real squat, in 25.1. And you do get a wall ball. You get 40 wall balls, which of course is a thruster-like motion and is definitely a squat. So it's in there, but I still thought that it was a better option this way than 22.3 or 21.3 or even 24.3. I'd love to see 4 workouts. I'd love to see 5 workouts. I know that it's harder on affiliates. But if we can't do that, I would love to see an open where literally somehow every workout is gated in some form or another. But this is just a fun exercise from a fan of the CrossFit Open and somebody who loves CrossFit. And again, I am in no way, shape, or form a programmer, so I want to hear from you guys. Maybe you're a programmer. Maybe you're an OG. Maybe you've got your L2 or your L3. What is the perfect open if you're using 3 workouts? I use 2021 and on. You can use any open workouts. I never know how to end. I'm going to have somebody else do it for me.
Bye.